Greetings. I haven't a single reason to identify myself to you, but for the sake of expedience, allow me to indulge your curiosity. Your actions are ill-advised, cowboy. My name is Commander Awesome, and I'm certain you, at some point in your existence, have had the privilege to know the entity known as Captain Awesome. So by now, I hope, undoubtedly you have guessed, I am from the same lineage. My captain, our brave leader, the inspiration for life itself, has tasked me with monitoring this plane and all its activity. I find you beings as chaotic, violent, unevolved, and frankly, unworthy of even my presence, let alone the captain's. As you can see, clearly, my powers reach well beyond this world and your understanding. But I urge you to realize that comprehension is not a requisite of compliance. So that being said, I will do what I can to clarify what your simple minds can fathom. Normally, I couldn't be bothered with such a trivial, unevolved species, but due to developing circumstance, my direct intervention is required. I'm sure at this point you have a lot of questions, most of which are lacking in thought, so I will share only what I deem you worthy. I am the great leader's Captain Awesome, as you know him. I am his sword. Do not take this literally, simpletons. I am the commander of his grand army, and you will find I am not as kind or forgiving as my lord. Furthermore, because you heathens can't keep from destroying yourselves, I will have to don the unsightly form of one of you to complete my mission and maintain the balance so that the very fabric of the universe does not come undone. While I am here, I urge you all of you, to not stand in my way. Your feeble weapons and means of defense cannot harm me. If you choose to be destroyed, I promise you, I will snuff out your existence in a brutal and cataclysmic fashion. Allow me to put this into terms you ingrates can understand. Spoken directly from the Book of Awesome, verse 36.
I will fucking end you.
Realize this, cretins, that I have been training for hundreds of years in the art of super-proery, and I have in fact kept your kind from destroying itself before. Which brings me to a question. How does one have the greatest gift ever bestowed upon them, Super-Pro, be taught by the Creator himself, and continue to squander his teachings? This astounds me. It's illogical. It's irrational. Super-Pro is more than just a means for fun, entertainment, and sport. It's a way of life for us. And if you embraced it yourselves, you could flourish in this world. But instead, you listen to Gangnam Style. You mimic duck faces in photographs. You throw smoke bombs. You take pictures of what you're about to ingest and post it on a social application known as Twitter. You name your children after fruit. You elect leaders based solely on who is the greatest liar. And you install Windows 8. I really can't comprehend that one. I could do this for a decade. But for the sake of argument, I will assume that you get the point. Ah, yes. This one. The one you call Clint. Clint Beastwood, I believe. What a comical name. Almost makes me laugh if I could do such a thing. In my short time here, none have shown any knowledge of the art of superproery. Only this man known as Clint. This man, Clint Beastwood. The only one who I have encountered that shows any recollection of any knowledge of the captain's great teachings. So, upon further deliberance, I have concluded this Earth Warrior Clint has retained some knowledge of Super Pro and could be useful in my pursuits. I do believe it's time for a test, Mr. Beastwood. If you are to entertain an entity such as myself's company and assist me in the completion of my mission, this test is required. And, as some of you Earth dwellers like to say, fun for me. You don't become the leader of the great captain's army by simply loving rainbows and sunshine. You have to be a cold, calculated killer. Someone who enjoys inflicting pain and destruction, such as myself. There were other candidates, but I exceeded all expectation. I am a master of the great captain's Super Pro. And one determining factor, which lifted me above the other candidates, is that I possess a certain lack of compassion for others, which the captain found amusing and believed would make me a superb military tactician. Being able to make the tough decisions in any military conflict is required for any leader. And being that the great captain cannot be bothered with such trivial matters, thus I was elected the supreme commander of my lord's grand army of awesome. At this point, I expect full cooperation from your entire species. If not, you could easily wind up like this native. With the snap of my fingers, your existence fades from this universe. Some further insight into my mission reveals that I am here in search of a power source. A power source that only we, the awesome, possess. I have detected it here in this time, on this planet you call Earth. By the order of the great Captain Awesome, I am to investigate this disturbance and eradicate it. Failure is not an option. It's not even, in fact, in my vocabulary. Whomever this being is that thinks he can tamper with the abilities of Awesome is making a grave error in judgment, and this will be remedied immediately. I know not how a Earth Dweller came in possession of such power. It matters not. The balance will be restored in an orderly and timely fashion, and you will go on with your meaningless lives, and I can return home to Castel Awesome for more fruitful ventures. I appreciate your future cooperation in this matter. I am Supreme Commander Awesome. And have a lovely evening.
You have finished first. Seconds remaining.